Today, Blizzard just released a massive patch detailing huge balance changes coming to Diablo 4 for Season of the Malignant. Today, I want to focus just on the barbarian changes, and they are massive. I'm going to start with most important stuff, and we're going to skip the stuff that's inconsequential. So number one, the most important thing that they just changed was, and I'm going to read this directly from the patch notes, fixed an issue where the outer edge of the quakes granted to Hammer of the Ancients via the Aspect of Ancestral Echoes was dealing far more damage than intended. Developers note, we recognize this adjustment is a significant decrease to the Hammer of the Ancients Barbarian build, but we do not want its strength to be reliant on an underlying bug. Now, first of all, it's not Aspect of Ancestral Echoes that grants quakes to Hammer of the Ancients. It's actually Aspect of Ancestral Force. Second, this is absolutely going to significantly change the power rankings of barbarian builds, making Hammer of the Ancients less powerful than the alternatives. And by the way, Hammer of the Ancients was the only S tier build barbarians had. So it seems like developers have nerfed Barbarian's best build and given them no alternative. Now, that's not the only thing that they have decided to change. One of the biggest changes is actually hamstring. It now only slows healthy enemies, and the slow amount has been increased. Now, of course, the slow amount is pointless. It's just the fact that it had given a slow that gives things like No Mercy bonus damage. Check out what No Mercy does. 9% increased critical strike chance against slowed, immobilized, or stunned enemies. If hamstring is no longer causing bleeding enemies to become slowed, No Mercy no longer gives you that 9% critical strike chance. However, I do think that potentially they are nerfing this because they're introducing a new aspect for the barbarian, which is called Audacity. This is a utility aspect which says when there are at least 5 close enemies, stun them for 2 to 4 seconds. This can only occur once every 20 seconds. This is much worse than hamstring if you ask me. Yes, it's a stun, which is damage mitigation. However, it only happens once every 20 seconds. And so I don't think it's actually good enough to give back what hamstring used to give barbarians. So if you look at the patch notes, I think the barbarians got hit pretty hard, and the Audacity aspect seems to not really give them what they just lost. Not only that, but barbarians are also getting another aspect called Ancestral Charge, which is an offensive aspect. Charge calls forth 4 ancients who also charge, dealing 50 to 100% of normal damage. Now, no serious barbarian build currently uses charge, so this seems like Blizzard's attempt to make barbs use this ability, like force them with this new aspect. I think this aspect could be good. It sounds like it will do a lot of damage, right? 4 multiplied by 50 to 100% normal damage, if that is actually how it works. I think it has some potential, but right now charge just doesn't fit into any build, and so it seems kind of forced. I'm not sure if this is actually going to be beneficial to barbarians. And finally, a generic that was nerfed that I think is going to impact barbarians significantly is Aspect of Disobedience. This was nerfed. The maximum stacks were reduced from 100 to 60, reducing the maximum bonus armor granted from the max of 50% to a max of 30%. This is unfortunate because barbarians really needed damage reduction and bonus armor to survive. They're always in melee range, and so I think this nerf is going to disproportionately affect barbarian players, really hurting their survivability. I'm not sure how viable or how easily barbarians are going to survive come Season 1. Now, finally, a buff. I think this actually could be something. Enhanced Death Blow's damage bonus to bosses increased from 100% to 150%. Death Blow was often used when leveling using Hammer of the Ancients, so I could see this getting more use in the future potentially, especially now that Wrath Glyph's bonus affects all damage instead of just core skills. So maybe there's a glimmer of hope there for Death Blow, but that really wasn't used in any endgame builds, so I'm not really sure how much of a difference it's going to make. And then finally, we learned that barbarians are getting a new unique item called Azure Wrath. It's a unique sword that has lucky hit. Your core skills have up to a 20% chance to freeze enemies for 3 seconds and deal cold damage to them. The developers say that at 820 item power, Azure Wrath deals between 3,000 to 7,000 damage, roughly. Now, Azure Wrath hopefully might have a better lucky hit affix in the future, like lucky hit developers won't ruin your class, but we'll have to see about that. Anyways, guys, these are the barbarian updates that I thought were meaningful. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about these changes, if you're a barbarian player and what your plans are for Season 1. See you guys in the next video. Take care.